What's up, you guys? It's your girl, Miss Rongo. And finally, we're here. The first episode of the Contrarian Diaries podcast. So, on today's episode of the Contrarian Diaries podcast, we are going to be discussing the topic surviving unemployment. But before we get into it, if you're new to the channel, please make sure to subscribe to the channel and give this video a thumbs up, turn on your post notifications, and also make sure to follow us on our Facebook page at the Contrarian Diaries podcast. Now, guys, as most of you know, or most of you do not know, I am a graduate from the University of Zambia. I studied, I got a bachelor's degree in mass communication. So today, I brought my fellow degree holder. I'm going to let her introduce herself.
The latest degree holder in town. So my name is Marjory Mwelwa. Of course, I'm her friend, her former classmates, and we actually did the same program.
Yes. So as it stands right now, I don't know if you are aware, Marjorie, the unemployment rate right now, or as of last year, was somewhere around 6.13%, and then it sort of declined a bit in 2021, but this year it's expected to increase, you know. So as it stands right now, most of us are unemployed. It turns out we have more people graduating and less jobs. So how has been finding employment for you so far?
I don't know, I must say it's something that has been very challenging, very hard, very frustrating. So job hunting is very hard. It can burn you out.
Yep,
but you have to be strong because it's not like you have a choice. Yeah.
I can agree with that. My own journey with finding employment so far, at least employment that meets the 4 years of my hard work to get the paper. Because you know, there's this thing, you need to get educated. You can't get a job. So we get educated, and now finding a job is just, whew. It's a lot, guys. It's really a lot. However, how has been like your experience with like interviews so far? You know, how has it been going? How has it been going for interviews and stuff like that?
Okay, so ever since I started job hunting, I've sent over 15 applications, and I've only been called to, I must say, I think 2 interviews. One was successful and the other one didn't go very well. I had challenges in answering interview questions. You know, if you're new to this thing, I just graduated, so I don't know. I can say it's been good and bad, because in the first one I did succeed, of course, and the other one, things didn't go well. So,
and my side story, guys, the interview she's talking about, we were actually picked together. And what's so funny about that is I nailed that interview. If the people that interviewed me, I nailed that interview. And you know, this thing where you're so confident that you're going to get the job, and you start gaslighting yourself, thinking about, transport, you even start making budgets for the money that you're going to be earning and all that. But something that I feel affects us the most as youth is the issue of joblessness, depression. I feel like graduates are always under the illusion that when they graduate, they'll get a job, start making money, and everything is going to go, it's going to fall in place in the shortest amount of time. Recently, I don't know if you saw this story on social media. There was this guy from Liwala or somewhere, Liwala somewhere there, and he got on top of a communication tower because he was left out for recruitment.
Yes.
And that guy is not unemployed, by the way. He's a butchery assistant, but
He
To
wants
me,
something better.
yeah, it appears he's not content with his job. So how do you deal with joblessness depression?
Honestly, I don't know. I would advise you to stay away from social media because
Mhm.
especially LinkedIn. But again, that's impossible. If you're a job seeker, you have to be on social media because these days employment opportunities are always there. Facebook, LinkedIn, they're always there. But one thing I would advise you if you are a student or if you're a prospective job seeker or you're already job hunting, is do something that's going to keep you busy, something that's going to occupy your mind so that you don't get depressed. I know it's unavoidable, but I think you can do a few things just to avoid that.
And the issue of social media where you go on your socials and you see your classmates working. I have a number of former classmates that are working and they're doing great. Big ups to you guys. However, it's good, to avoid joblessness depression where you create a routine for yourself, get a life, find a new routine. It helps when you wake up in the morning, take a shower, and dress up, even if it's for no reason, but it adds some confidence to you to just wake up, take a shower, and look good. Dedicate your time when you're jobless to actually search for a job,
Yes.
to understand, learn a new skill. When you have nothing to do, you have plenty of time to actually do something. If, say, for example, you could learn, maybe it could be how to do makeup or how to advance certain skills that you might not have polished enough when you were still in university.
Yeah.
It could be video editing skills because our course is media related. So anything with regards sharpening our media skills is like a plus in this time when we're jobless. But for those that did not do the course that we did,
Yeah.
you could try to learn something new for yourself. So get a life, learn a new skill, avoid comparing yourself, like she said.
That's unavoidable. That's unavoidable.
That's like, oh my god, this person got a job and we're in the same course. If anything, she has a pass, I have a
And then, I mean, these skills that my friend talked about here are actually free on YouTube. So it will actually cost you bundles, but I think it's worth it.
YouTube is like the most cheapest university you can attend.
Yes.
Cheapest university you can attend. And we don't realize it because, we're so focused on working for someone. It's like it feels some type of way to work for someone. But how about you try building something for yourself?
Yeah.
E.g., this Contrarian Diaries podcast. Side note, by the way, she has a podcast too.
Yeah, of course.
So we have podcasts, we blog, I draw for most of the time, I think.
Yeah, and I'm actually learning how to do makeup. So
yeah, our makeup is not professional, but we're getting there. We're getting there. So it's a good thing, And something else that we haven't discussed, or that's sort of like a negative thing with regards surviving unemployment, is the issue of connections. There's this thing of you need to know someone, to know someone, to know someone. I will not lie, 80% of the people that I know that have jobs, it's sort of, I knew someone that knew someone that knew someone for me to get that job.
Yes.
Yeah. So what does it mean to have connections to you? Like,
honestly, I think connections are very important, and it's actually an advantage when you have both. You are qualified and you have connections. So if you're a student, please don't shun away from events. Make sure you network as much as possible because that's going to help you. Connections might not be relatives per se because most connections that we know are relations, like family relations. So make sure you network as much as possible. Don't shun away from events. I actually regret make sure you make use of the time that you have in university. Creating that rapport with people of your profession, it's very important.
With regards the issue of connections, the word connections itself gives a corruption vibe, where it's like it's either you slept with somebody or the person is your relative, because somebody, for certain people, them just knowing you to get you a job is not enough. You actually have to go out of your way to do certain things that are morally uncomfortable. So is and one definition of connections when you hear connections. So it's even embarrassing when you say, I got a job because I had connections. You know, you try to act as if you did it on your own merits, but yeah. Then connections, another way to look at connections is people have just, like, you get to know people by showing them your work, they admire your work, and they employ you, or they just like how you perform, yes, your work ethic, and they'll choose you based on that without even paying attention to the others. Because we've worked with this person. Yeah, she's very good. So there's two types of connections, but I'll focus more on where somebody is just impressed by work and then they know you based off how much you've been showing your interest. I feel like those types of connections are connections that you should have. And it's good to be confident as a graduate, where you're like, okay, my degree can actually get me a job, and not feel like you have to stoop so low to undress for someone or to pay someone to get you a job, you know. And that's actually a very sad way to start a career, to have to sleep with someone to give you a job. And you know, it's somewhat scary for the prospective job seekers. Imagine how you would feel like, or how you were feeling when you were still in university or in grade 12, thinking, oh, the only way of getting a job is via connection, and you can't get a job based on your own merit. Yeah. So we decided to take it to the streets, to the university streets, and just find out what the prospective job seekers think about employment, whether or not employment is possible without connections. Take a look. Guys, we are on the streets of the University of Zambia, and we're here to get the opinions of the prospective job seekers on what they think, on whether or not employment is possible with or without connections. Do you think employment is possible in Zambia right now without connections, without being connected to somebody?
Okay, as for me, I may say that without connection, you cannot get employed, because you need some connections. Like maybe having business ideas from someone that can connect you to that kind of business.
My name is Joshua Chinjabata.
Okay, what year are you in?
I'm in my second year demography major. Okay. Employment actually is, I think it's a bit cumbersome, seeing the fact that our population is rising and at a very fast rate. So if we say population, employment is there actually, I think it's not. Without connections at this point, time in era, I think it's a little bit difficult. We can give an example of the claims that were there on the military, ZAF and all those. Many people actually take it, all those who are actually eligible, but they are not even there apparently. They were just left, and we saw the crisis that happened actually.
My name is Richard Amaziba. I'm a second year student studying Bachelor of Arts in Business Administration. From my own perspective, I think communication, employment is kind of hard without connections, because of the new drone government which is there, which which requires you like to have all requirements of like papers for you to be employed. So there's nothing like going there with corruption. So which means like when there's no connection, it's really hard. So like we saw how other people, like those who are being recruited in these ongoing ZAF and so forth. So like without connections, a lot were left out. Yeah. So
my name is Vesa. Vesa Malema, and I'm in second year. I'm doing business administration with economics. First of all, I would say it is possible. Again, it is not possible. Okay, but the merit depend on the person, the hard work. Yeah, that the person puts in. You know, as a student, we want to get a degree, and that degree will speak for us. But again, on the other hand, it's useless without you knowing someone out there. You get right? We as social human beings are meant to interact, to make connections. So as you get to interact more, you'll find people who get to know someone, and that someone will get to know the other someone. So I guess it is very important to get to know people. Yeah, by so doing, you have a wide advantage. Yeah, so I think on the other hand, it's possible. Again, it's impossible. Yes.
Okay, so there we have it with the opinions of the prospective job seekers at the University of Zambia. Employment is possible without connections. Again, it is not possible without connections. Let's take it back to the studio.
Okay, we had very interesting views from the prospective job seekers, and others think it's possible, others think it's not, and others think it's a two-way thing. So interesting views rightly at all.
Yeah, it must be somewhat scary for them, but at least some of them have an idea of make the use of the time that you have in university to actually get to know people and figure out innovative ways to get employed, start a business. Perhaps, employment or life to success is not
as straight as it seems.
Yeah, it's just not one direction. So it's good to figure out innovative ways, use your talents to come up with things that you could do, just like we are doing right now.
Yeah.
So the key takeaway on today's podcast with regards surviving unemployment is basically don't compare yourself to anyone. You have your own way. There's the Zambian dream where get married, graduate, get married, have kids, and rot in your grave. You could actually choose to live differently.
Exactly.
So don't compare your success or how you're moving to other people. Your route might just be different. Focus on you, compete with yourself, get to know people. Do not exclude yourself, because with finding employment, you have to get to socialize.
Exactly.
And yeah, it's been an interesting episode with our girl Marjory here. And she has a podcast, as I earlier mentioned. It's called Beachside Stories. So you might as well want to tell us a little bit about that.
Okay, so I'm a sports person, to be specific, football. I love football. So Beachside Stories is just about telling stories on the pitch. It could be based off interviewing people that are in the sport. Also highlights. We also edit highlights for the games that you might have missed. So you can actually follow us on Facebook. We are at Beachside Stories. And on YouTube, it's Beachside Stories with Marge. So if you're a football fanatic, that's a place to be. Go to the YouTube channel, subscribe, go to that Facebook page, follow and like it.
So that's been it on today's first ever episode of the Contrarian Diaries podcast with me, your girl, Miss Mirongo. If you're new to the channel, once again, and if you enjoyed the conversations and you want to be part of these conversations on social issues such as unemployment, please make sure to subscribe to the channel. Give this video a thumbs up, turn on your post notification button, Make sure to follow us on Facebook at the Contrarian Diaries podcast. Thank you so much for listening. Till next time. Bye bye.